Good morning, everybody. Be Good Your Brother number 40.
And or afternoon and or...
Depending on whenever you're watching it. We're recording in the manana, though.
Well, we're getting a little diverse languages going on
Bilingual.
here. Bilingual.
Bilingual action.
Oh, goodness. Episode 40.
That's a big landmark.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day. We're at the food bank in Richmond. Two classes went and volunteered, and some of the GAs went and volunteered.
That's cool.
And I was wearing my shirt, or my Be Good Your Brother hoodie. I was getting questions about it by old Dr. A. Shout out.
Shout out Dr. A.
But she was asking me about it. And I said, yeah, we've been doing it for 39 weeks now. We're about to hit 40. And as soon as I said that, I'm like, oh, my goodness. We've done this for now 40 weeks in a row. So that's pretty cool. I don't know why, but I like to keep up with the numbers and how long I've been doing stuff, especially here of late. Like yesterday was day 831 of running. What was it for you today? Was it a month? 28?
No, not 28.
29. It's either 28 or 35.
I'm going 28 then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah. So it'd be 28. But anyways, yeah, 40 episodes is a lot. And we've said it before, it's like, man, someone can just buy a microphone and say anything, can't they?
So, you see the memes where it's like podcast equipment needs to be more expensive.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, I know what they're getting at.
Yeah.
The problem is that like anybody has like slight success anywhere in social media, and they have to start a podcast. But they've got that funding. They've got that social media money they can pour into it.
Yeah.
We balling on a budget,
Yeah. But sorry, I just got a funny text. I'll answer that later. But yeah, that was opinion was kind of spread across a lot, especially what I saw yesterday, because either yesterday or the day before was when they announced the MVPs for baseball, and Aaron Judge won the MVP, and a bunch of people were mad. And I was happy that everyone thought, I don't know how much you know about baseball, but everyone thought Cal Raleigh should have won it because he hit the most home runs. But in every other stat, Aaron Judge had him beat by a lot. No MVP has ever won batting under 250. Cal Raleigh batted 247. He should win because he's a catcher. Like that's a valuable position. He played so many games. So what? Look at the WAR. That's the stat that tells you how valuable you are to your team.
The WAR?
The WAR. W-A-R.
Huh.
Aaron Judge beat him by 3 points in that, which is a lot. I mean, if you just look at it, it's like everyone says, just because he's from New York, he has all the eyes on him. I'm like, Cal Raleigh had eyes on him the whole season because he was knocking home runs out of the ballpark left and right like crazy. But Aaron Judge was out for 2 months and still had better stats than him in every other record. every other record. It's like, well, Aaron Judge just plays in right field. That's not a valuable position, so he's not valuable to his team. The Yankees don't make the playoffs if Aaron Judge doesn't play. Like, it's just as simple as that. Seattle Mariners still make the playoffs. They still have good pitching. They still have good players. Yankees didn't have nobody, and Aaron Judge willed them to the playoffs, in my opinion. But anyways,
I know you've been a Judge fan for a long time.
Aaron Judge is my boy.
And I know that I can never watch another baseball game again after the Rockies game.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was a crazy experience, being at that game. You're like, is it almost over? I'm like, yeah. I mean, this game will probably last like, I don't know.
2 hours.
2 hours, 2.5 max. It was like 4. It was like, what was the score, 17-16?
Yeah,
absolutely
like
insane.
And then I'm like, what? Did it start at 6 or something?
Yeah, it said the game started at 6:30.
Yeah, and then it started at 6.
Started at 6 o'clock, and we show up, and it's 5-0. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I remember at 9 o'clock, I was looking at you, and it was like the 5th inning or something, and I was like, what happened in 2.5 hours, bro?
Yeah, it was like 10-4 or something like that, something stupid like that. I'm like, this doesn't happen. And I'll never forget telling you, it's like, yeah, we at least got to stay till the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's the 7th inning stretch? I said, everyone stands up and sings a song. You're like, no way.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. I genuinely didn't believe it.
You said, do the players do it too? I said, I'm sure some of them do.
I didn't know if it was like a halftime performance kind of deal. I know it's not the half, but
no, everyone just stands up and sings a song.
That's interesting.
Take me out to the ball game. Anyways, let's get into our actual some points that actually matter and are relevant to us. Anyways,
You want to start with the marathon?
yeah, we can. Well, Wednesday night we did something stupid. We found a mountain.
Yeah, the Flying Pig Marathon in Cincinnati.
What a name! Rocky Raccoon, Flying Pig. You know what they call the start finish line? It's something to do with swine. I think they call it the start swine.
Really?
Yeah, and the finish swine.
Why is it pig?
I don't know.
It looks like a fun race. Those jackets are baller too.
Yeah, they are.
I might drop $80 on a jacket.
You can probably find one at the expo. I don't even know where all that is, but it's the most expensive race I've signed up for.
Yeah, it was a double ticket for me, buddy.
Yeah, I know it. But it's 26.2 miles through Cincinnati and Kentucky, which is cool. Did you know that?
Covington?
Yeah.
Man.
You run across the bridge into Kentucky for like 2 miles, which I've ran those roads before, where I've ran that race route before, not even realizing it. And then you come into you start there by the Bengal Stadium, run down the street, I think to the Purple Bridge, maybe the bridge before that. Come into Covington. I guess is it Newport? It might just be Covington.
There's Newport, like right there.
I don't know. You come into by the aquarium.
Yeah,
You come in there, then you run west until you almost get to the interstate bridge, but you run across another bridge back into Cincinnati. Then you run up probably about halfway downtown Cincinnati. Then you go east all the way until you have to turn around and come right back, and you finish there by that little park in between Paycor and Great American Ballpark. That's where you finish at. So, I love Cincinnati. I think it's a neat town.
It makes me mad.
The Queen City.
Makes me mad.
You don't like Cincinnati?
No. I don't like Cincinnati. 'Cause you know where the Cincinnati airport is?
Not in Cincinnati.
Not in Cincinnati. It's in Covington. It makes me so mad. Like, it's the Cincinnati airport. And you know how airports have a three-letter
Yeah.
CVG for
Yeah.
Covington?
Yeah.
It's a load of crap. Also, flying from Denver to Covington
Yeah.
is so weird.
Why is that?
Because Denver, you've never been to the Denver airport.
I heard it's like
It's terrible.
like satanic.
Yeah, there's a lot of tonics being sold. Some snake oil salesman. Now there's a random, I think it's blue. There's a big blue horse everybody thinks is satanic, and there's all these theories that like the government's hiding demons beneath the Denver airport or something, and it's so weird because they've got an underground like metro.
Yeah.
But it's just a I don't know how to explain it. I don't know all the right words. I don't fly a lot. The like where you go to depart.
The gates.
The gates, I guess. There's another word for it, I think. But they've got like lines of them.
Yeah.
And then the airport's out here, whatever. And then like here's the actual airport, and then the train underground just runs straight.
Yeah.
So, like, if your gate is on one of the lines all the way at the end, you get dropped off in the middle of it. You got to walk like a mile and a half to get to your gate. And you keep walking past all these different, like, food places.
Yeah.
And it's like $20 for a breakfast burrito or something. It's ridiculous. It's like being in a mall, but worse.
Yeah.
Kind of. Then you fly into Covington, and it's like there's one baggage claim. Like, this is way relaxed compared to what I just did. I mean, whenever Mom and Dad moved, me and Raina drove one of their cars out there with the dogs, and then we flew back.
Yeah.
And we got to the Denver airport. Mom and Dad drove us up there. They dropped us off, and it was like we got out of the truck. You know, everybody's crying and hugging each other, and then we like that. We're getting yelled at by people to like get in line, funnel in. It feels like you watch what's it called? Like Marines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they get dropped off at boot camp, and they're just getting screamed at.
That's how it is getting on a Carnival cruise.
That's what it's like to
they get you in line.
Dropped off at the Denver airport.
To get on a Carnival cruise, we got lined up against the wall, and we had a drug dog sniff us down. I thought we were going to get shot. I was scared.
I remember
they lined us up against the wall. They had this dog coming by sniffing us down, and there was this guy standing next to me, and the dog was like sniffing his bag and sat right by it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's... It's like he about got me. And I didn't even have nothing.
We flew to Denver a few years ago for a vacation, and I think we were at Covington. We were going through TSA, getting our bags checked and everything, and they had a drug dog out there, or some kind of dog. It could have been a bomb dog for all I know. And they're taking the dog through the lines and like letting them sniff everybody. Yeah. And I looked at Dad and I was like, Dad, that makes me nervous. And he was like, shut up. Why would you say that? I was like, I don't know. It just makes me nervous. Like, what if he alerts on me and I don't have anything?
Oh, goodness. But, yeah, like getting on a Carnival cruise ship, they'll especially in Miami, they'll get you right. They'll get you where you need to go. Will. Oh, my goodness. I remember getting off that boat, and we were waiting on this bus to transport us from the place to the airport, which was a different airport that we came into. It was up near northern Miami. I can't remember what it was called. But I remember like stressing. It's like, because I had to use the bathroom bad getting off that boat. And I remember stressing. I'm like, this bus is about to leave in like 5 minutes, and I need to pee. And then there's this one, like, it's a one-hole bathroom. Why do you have a one-hole bathroom at this cruise port? I don't know. And it's the only bathroom outside, because once you leave, you can't go back in, right? Yeah. So I'm waiting in line, and I'm like, well, I'll just hold it. And go get on the bus. Bro, we don't leave that bus for another 45 minutes. We sat on that bus for 45 minutes because other people were late getting off their cruise ship to come get on that bus that they paid for to travel them up to the airport. But that first airport that we came into Miami, that was sketchy. Well, it wasn't sketchy. It was just kind of run down. I don't say it wasn't nice. I'll just say that. But
I remember a similar story when we were coming back from Colorado, that same trip I was just talking about. We stayed in a hotel right near the airport, and usually hotels near airports have an airport shuttle. Yeah, and they had a shuttle, so we got on the shuttle van, and we had Papa John's the night before. Yeah, I am lactose intolerant, self-diagnosed, but there's evidence, and I remember getting on that shuttle. And it was like, as soon as the door shut and they pulled off, I was like, oh, no. Uh-oh. And I remember, like, I was literally praying in the back of the shuttle van. It was bad. I barely made it to the airport. Barely made it. We're so underprepared.
Man, I want to go on another cruise bad.
We've talked for 18 minutes about nothing.
Anyways, marathon, all right?
Yeah.
Marathon. So we signed up for the Flying Pig. I don't know what annual it is. Did I add it to my Apple Wallet? I might have. It'll probably tell me. No, it just says 2026. But it's May 3rd, or is it May?
May 3rd.
May 3rd on a Sunday morning at 6:30, which kind of stinks that it's on Sunday. I really wish it was that Saturday, because I know I was talking about numbers earlier, but I got to look and I'm like, May 2nd is day 1,000 of me running at least 2 miles every day. You know how cool that would have been?
That would have been awesome.
May 2nd, 1,000, go run a marathon, but day 1,001, I guess. So
1,001. 1,000 can be a good recovery, slow run.
Yeah. I say we go up there that Saturday, or there's no need to go up there that Friday, especially if we're just driving up there. But anyways, yeah, I haven't really thought of a plan yet for it. I don't know if you kind of wanted to work that out right now.
What do you want to do? You want to find an Airbnb for us? Or?
Well, no, I meant like the training plan.
The training plan, okay.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the logistics of actually getting up there.
No logistics yet anyways.
Okay, we'll wait till last minute.
Yes, like always. But anyway, so how many miles a week do you think you want to run?
How many do you think I should run?
Actually, hold up. Before we do this, let's set our goal. What's your goal? Time-wise. The main goal is to finish and not die.
Yeah.
So that's the main goal.
The main goal is finish, don't die. You're looking for sub 3. Yeah?
Yes.
Main goal, don't die. GH, sub 3.
2:59:59.
2:59:59.
Anything under that, I'll be happy.
JK. I've thought a lot about this, and I still don't know. I'm going to say sub 4.
Okay. I like it.
Do you think that's too ambitious?
No.
No. Okay.
I always thought the average person could run a sub 4 marathon. Which
really?
That might not be true, because sub 4 is still pretty fast. But you could do it, especially if we got 170 days to train for it.
Sub 4.
Like,
I know that's a lot of days, but that doesn't feel like a lot of runs. You know what I mean?
That's 4 months.
Yeah. But still, it just doesn't feel like.
It's actually 5 months. 5.5 months. Well, it'll be 4 months once we start in January, once I actually start training. But right now, what we need to be doing is building our weekly miles up, so when it comes to marathon training season, we don't die out in the first week. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's see, today is Saturday. Now, I've ran 22.5 miles this week. So I'll probably get another at least 2 in today. So I'd like to get in at least 4 to get me up to the 26 this week. So this moves me to about 26 miles this week. How many miles you got this week? 12. Okay. So this is interesting. I wish I had a total. So week 1, 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 7 is 15, plus 2 is 17, plus 6 is 23, plus another 6 is 29, plus 13 is 32. No. Yes. 32. So this first week of running, or this first week of training, I did 32 miles.
Gotcha.
Second week, 13 plus 6 is 20. Second week, 24 plus 13 plus 6 is 20. So 34 plus 8 is 41. Right? Yeah. 41, 40, 30. Sorry, I'm just saying numbers. 43.
You're good.
43 and then 45. Second week, I did 45 miles. So that's probably more of an average of what it looks like. For me, 45 to 50 miles.
During the actual prep.
During the actual training. So, because that first one was just getting warmed up to the idea of it. I remember that 14-mile run right there. I remember that. It was at EKU. Oh, my gosh, it sucked. Oh, it sucked. It was at EKU on a Thursday. I remember that like it was yesterday. Holy crap, that was awful. It was cold outside, too. Oh, my gosh. Anyways, I don't remember a lot of runs, but I remember that one. So I'm realistically looking 45 to 50 miles a week on this plan.
Yeah.
Once I actually start, I might be looking at a 50 minimum, 50 miles a week minimum.
50 minimum for the actual, 16-week training?
Yeah, 15 miles a week minimum for starting in January, running 50 miles a week minimum.
50. I thought you just said 15. And I was like,
50, 50.
We went two different directions.
50,
okay.
50 miles a week.
So right now,
and that's on average.
I'm thinking 25 right now.
So you want to start running 25 miles a week starting January?
No.
Till January. Then January build up.
Or maybe 25 until, 25 until January.
Okay.
And then start building.
Okay.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yes, that is reasonable.
Or should I taper more? Or should I just gradually increase?
I would start this week, starting tomorrow. Let's see. I've ran 22 miles this week. I'm not going to count that 0.5 because that's just a little extra. So I've ran 22 miles this week. And starting on Sunday, I did 10K, 2, Wednesday night I did 10K, then 2, then yesterday I did 4. So that's reasonable to do. Yeah. So you're running 2 6-mile runs, 2 miles the other days. Like yesterday I did 4. And if today you do a 3-mile run, and you've got it. You've got the 25.
We're doing a 10K today.
Yeah, so... But that's a loose plan that I've done this week that'll get you to the 25 mark. So you do 2 6s and a 4 and a 3.
6 6 4 3.
Yeah, then 2s for the rest of the week.
2s.
That's 25. Is it not?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's 25 right there. So, I mean, that's a very reachable goal.
Yeah.
To get in 25 miles a week, especially if you split them 6 miles up, kind of spread them out a little bit. I wouldn't do both of them on Saturday, Sunday because that's not smart.
No. Unless
you are just wanting to feel pain.
Should I eliminate the 2 6s and go for an 8, 2 4s?
That could be a route too.
That way I get more. I know it's going from 6 to 8 isn't a whole lot, but that's more endurance training.
Yeah. For now, I don't know. That's something you'd have to play with and see what you like, because
it would be easier for me with my schedule
to run 1
to
8.
do 1 8 or even like a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just depending on whatever.
Yeah. And
then do shorter runs during the week.
Yeah.
Like have Saturday be my long run day or Sunday or something.
See, because that's what I do during my actual prep is like I have my shorter runs, like the shorter runs for marathon is like 8 and 7 and 8 and 9 miles. I'll have them during the day or during the week, like the 10 miles. Then the weekend I'll run like this one, 6 miles on Saturday, and 16 miles on Sunday. So like you have the long runs on the weekends. So it's just kind of how whatever you're comfortable with. But for right now, up until January 1, I sound like a school teacher saying that. That's what my mom would always say. December 1's when this is due or whatever.
Yeah.
But up until January 1st, we need to work on building slowly but surely up until that mark.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do starting
Bless you.
Starting that December 1st.
Bless you.
Golly. Starting December 1st, I'm going to start with a 10K a day minimum.
Gosh.
So 42 miles a week.
Starting December 1st?
Yeah. I did it last year.
It's wild.
Yeah, I did it last year. That was a nice mental challenge for me because, in December, my schedule, I won't have nothing to do at all because it's winter break.
Yeah.
And so that's a good time for me to really lock in and start building that, I guess, tolerance and building that discipline up to start getting those long runs in. It's like yesterday I tried to go for, I could have wheeled out a 6-mile run yesterday, but after 4, I was just dog tired. I couldn't keep, I was running like a 6:50 pace. Yeah, I could have slowed down to get them 8 in, but it was getting dark, and also I had Thai Smile at the house I wanted to get to, so that's neither here nor there. But like come December and come these other times, I can't be cutting runs short like that. Yeah. So yeah, December 1st, I'm going to start running, so that'll get me average of 42 miles a week, at least 10K a day. So that'll get me in prime shape come January when we start doing this. Prep. I can consistently run 50, 55 miles a week and not crash out too bad, hopefully. It's a big number. I'm going to have to get some crap in order in my life so I can actually do that, meaning waking up and going to bed at decent times.
Yeah. Yes, that's a tough part.
Yeah.
It's just organizing your day around it.
Yeah. Because you're going to be given at least 45 minutes a day running, at least that, plus the time it takes to get ready before and after that. Yeah. And especially on them long runs on the weekends, you're looking upwards from 2 hours of running. So you've got to build a lot of time. You got to build your schedule around it. And if you want to do it to where the point it needs to be, that's the sacrifice you got to make for it. So,
you think I need to step up from what I say, like 25?
Right now?
No. Like in December. You think I should step up to like low 30s or something?
Yeah, I wouldn't do like a drastic change, but
yeah,
I would step it up.
Okay.
Slowly build up. Because what is a sub 4?
Let me look.
Was it like 9:30?
I think it's slower than that. Oh, no, it's not. It's a 9.9.
9.9.
Yeah.
9-minute pace. 9-minute pace. So right now, you've already set your goal as a sub 4. There's no taking it back.
No, there's not.
So
I want to do better than that, but
right now, what's your 2 mile on average on the road looking like?
On average on the road, yeah. I don't know.
That you feel confident in.
I've been confident.
Yeah. So you could run, if you had to go run 2 miles right now, what do you think it'd be?
Like trying to run fast?
Yes. Would it be
That's tough.
Would it be that 9:10 pace?
Definitely. I think I can do that.
What's the longest right now you think you can hold that pace?
I don't know.
3-4 miles, if that.
Yeah. 4's pushing it, but I think I could do it. I definitely think I could get a 27-minute 5K right now.
Okay. So for me, looking at numbers for me, I'd have to run to get a sub 3, 6:40. I think it's 6:45 pace average.
Gosh.
Which back in April, I did for 20 miles.
Yeah.
I held it. First 2 and last 4, I didn't do that. So right now, if I had to go do that right now, I couldn't do it. I could, like I told you yesterday, I struggled to run 4 miles at a 6:50 pace. So, so I'm not confident in that right now that I couldn't go and do that right now. So, but it's good that we have time to prepare for it though, and we're talking about this now, and we're not just jumping on it because, I mean, you felt the pain of a marathon back last month.
Yeah.
Like
very different.
It's different. Like. It's different than what this is going to be. But you felt the pain of running for a long time.
Yeah,
moving for a long time.
Having that time on my feet makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah,
just because I mean, the marathon will hopefully be half of that. It'll be a lot higher pace.
Yeah,
and I won't be.
You won't have any breaks.
Climbing horseback trails. Just going up and down a mountain for no reason. So it'll be more effort per mile, but it'll be half the time.
Yeah.
So 25 a week, and then maybe mid-December, step up to 32. 30.
I'd start to early December.
Early December?
Yeah.
Okay.
Step it up to the 30s.
So December 1, I want to be at 32.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe halfway through, go up to 40.
Halfway through December?
Yeah.
Go up to 40?
No.
I wouldn't.
Too much?
I would stick at this 32 mark.
For December?
For December, yeah.
Okay.
Unless you just feel confident. Unless you're feeling good and you want to run roll more.
With it.
Because, I mean, you got to think about it.
Because the marathon prep's going to start lower than it ends. So it'll start around like 40.
The beginning of April is going to be the hardest part of the training. Beginning of April. So it'll start low. Well, I don't know. We haven't built ours out yet. So I don't, realistically, you're going to run less miles than I will in the week. Because, I mean, like what you said,
the time difference.
I've ran 22 this week. You've ran 12.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like comparing like I've done more, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't expect you to go run 50, 55 miles a week in training because you'd burn out so fast with it. And you're also not doing it at the same speed, so it'd take you a lot longer.
Way longer.
And when you're training for this stuff, it's almost better to run for amount of time than it is amount of distance. So, like, if I'm going to go run 13 miles, it'll take me an hour and a half. It might take you 2 hours, you know. So, that's a big difference when it comes to when it comes to training, if you need to run for an hour and a half, I'd say on your paper, maybe we're both running an hour and a half that day. Maybe I'll be running 13 miles. Maybe you'll be running 10 or whatever it turns out to be. So when it comes to the distances stuff, I think it's more relevant to go off time than it is to go off distance. So I don't know. It's just it's a lot of what if when it comes to planning for this stuff, because you don't know how you're going to react to it until you actually do it. So you could do the first week and it'd be like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and have to tone it down for the rest, or it could be like, man, this was really easy. Second week, man, this was really easy. Third week, okay, we got to bump these numbers up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it just really depends what you're comfortable with, but that's kind of where our headspace has been at, or at least mine's kind of been at for the past couple of days, is just trying to get back in this consistent mindset of, crap, this is happening again. I got to be ready for it. But I'm not like sad that I'm doing that I'm doing it. I'm excited for the challenge again, because I haven't had the challenge, at least the challenge that I've cared about in a while.
I remember after the half, I was like, after this 50, after this ultra, I'm done doing distance stuff. Like, I'm just done with it. I was like, I'll still run, just to run, like, kind of 14 to 20 miles a week.
Yeah,
would be great, just to keep me in shape. And then here I am. I'm $120 deep in a freaking race. I told Dad that, and he had a visceral reaction. It's like, you wouldn't think it'd be that much. Nope, you wouldn't, but I paid it, so I'm the fool.
Well, the reason it's that much is because they got to pay all them dang EMTs to show up there.
Yeah.
For the people that...
I'm sure they don't pay the EMTs.
Well,
I'm sure they pay the city.
Yeah.
And the city pays the EMTs what they normally make.
But anyways, you got to have all them people there for the people that show up to those races that aren't prepared.
I want to know what the profit margin is
on one of those races.
On a race like that.
I'm sure it's pretty big.
I bet it's big.
Well, you got to shut down the city for like a day, like all the roads and stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, how many people are going to run this?
Like 5,000 probably.
Gosh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anywho. But yeah, this is kind of where our head's been at.
I'm glad I've got somewhat of a plan here.
Yeah.
I need to get hounding on an actual prep plan. Like a 16-week plan. I
need to revamp my Excel sheet, because I have an Excel sheet of stuff here, and I need to revamp that and have that whole thing. It's like and I also messed up the dates on it last time, so I had to cut out a whole week of training last time, a whole week of runs. So, but it should be interesting. The elevation is more than I thought it was going to be. That's why I didn't tell you about.
Yeah. See, I looked at reviews whenever you told me about it.
Yeah.
And for the first 11 miles, I think, it's pretty hilly, and then it tapers down.
Well, from 4 to maybe 12 is pretty steep. Then after that, it just goes straight downhill, basically.
That should be okay.
Once you're coming back into Cincinnati, you're going downhill.
That should be okay.
So you're running across the river.
Those bridges are going to be rough.
No.
Really?
No. I've ran across them before. They're fine.
Yeah, but
they're not hilly.
Yeah, I just like I don't know.
The idea of it.
The idea of just running across a bridge. Yeah,
just run in the middle. You'll be fine.
And like you see all the people that did the New York City Marathon, they're running across the bridge. Yeah. And it's just like everybody's silent. There's nobody there to like cheer. It's like,
it is neat with all the atmosphere of it all. That's why I like doing the bigger races, is because there is a better atmosphere around. It's like that Somerset one.
That sucked.
The atmosphere wasn't. You'd see somebody like every. One, the roads were open for whatever reason.
I know.
So cars are flying by you left and right. And
firefighters honking at people for nearly running us over. Dude, they made me so mad. They were driving those freaking fire trucks like right in front of me, so I'm just breathing in all their fumes, dude. I was so mad. That dog barking at us.
But you'd have that going on, and then you'd see somebody, and they'd be holding one sign up, and it's the same sign that you see at every single race. Power up. Like it'd be the mushroom. I'm like, bro, this is...
Yeah.
But you'd see that, then you wouldn't see anyone else for like another 3 miles.
Yeah. Running through that little like
neighborhood,
dude, that was whack. There's all these people just watching me and Raina go by from their porch.
But from that experience, but going back to Louisville's crazy because there's people everywhere, especially in downtown. There's people everywhere, but then I'm sure it'll be kind of the same once you get out of the downtown area and kind of the big atmospheric where all the people's at. It does tone down a little bit, and especially when you start spreading out from people. Like when you're grouped together, it's fun running with them and trying to weave in and out of people and try not to let somebody pass you and all this stuff. But it's fun going in between that. But once you get kind of to the open, it's like I remember in Louisville, it's like coming out of Churchill Downs at mile 9, then after that big experience of running through that, and then you come out of Churchill Downs, take a right, then you kind of get into this neighborhood that I'd almost relate to Richmond Road and Irvin, like you're going, Richmond Road and Lexington, like you're going to downtown Lexington. It's kind of like that, houses on both sides and the trees and just kind of the sky's opening up in front of you, and there's not a whole lot of people around you, and it's starting to get to like instead of a big group of people, it's like a straight line of people, and that was neat. And then you realize like, all right, we're at mile 10, mile 11, it's time to like really find a groove here and really set in a groove and go into that. So I'm sure we'll have parts like that of the race that are real exciting, and then there's going to be other parts of the race that are not as exciting, and it's going to be kind of harder. But it's going to be neat for sure. That experience of just working for that long, just nonstop, heart rate at a 170, consistent pace, just nonstop. I'm
already there, brother.
I saw somebody, a guy named Jeremy Miller on YouTube. He ran the Chicago Marathon. He ran it like a 6:54 or something. No, sorry, 2:54, like time.
Yeah.
And
it's on pace.
And like I think he was like going for a goal or something, and it was like a crazy goal. It might have been like a 2:49 or something like that. I don't know what his final time was, but after it, he said his heart rate averaged it at 180, like 185 for that whole time. And he's like, you can't say I didn't try. Is basically what he was saying. It's like, I tried. I gave it literally everything I got, or everything I had. And so, like, just running for that long, heart rate that high, pushing that long, and that, it's gonna suck, but it'll be fun and worth it towards the end. And hopefully we can document it a little bit better than we've had before. So I'm excited for that aspect of it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the guy that ran a 2-hour marathon? Wild.
Yeah.
Just insane. They had a pace car in front of him.
Mm-hmm. The sub too.
Yeah.
Iliad. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think that's how you...
Starts with a K.
Yeah. Kipchoge?
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. And what's neat about that, like that doesn't count as like an official, I mean, that's a world record, but like if you look for us, that doesn't count as a solo marathon because he had people pacing him.
He had like...
They had him in the V formation, so like to block the wind resistance off of him. And they had the pace.
Those dudes had to be killers too.
Oh yeah, they were dogs.
Like,
and so, which was neat. is like they had a pace car driving in front, and it projected behind him the route he needed to take.
Yeah.
The line he needed to take around the corners and stuff.
It's pretty wild. And then there was like one white guy pacing him. I thought that was kind of...
He's the GOAT, man. He's like 40 years old now, and he ran the Boston in like 210 or something like that.
210?
Yeah.
Gosh.
He's the GOAT. He didn't win it like younger people won it, but
faster than a 210?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. I think so. Anyways. How long have we been going?
48 and a half.
I got pee.
Okay.
Back.
We're back.
Back at it. Better than ever.
We were rambling before we left.
Yeah.
About the marathon. Different marathon times.
We got a neat topic here that you kind of brought up.
Yeah. I told you about it. Again, authenticity.
Yeah.
Don't know where I'm going with it. But it worked out last time.
Yeah.
Kind of. We got the government back to running.
Us by ourselves, yes.
We've got they should have listened to a lot more of what we said. But at least we got that accomplished for everyone. You're welcome. But I've learned something about myself this week. And, it's like at work, I'm always like really concerned about doing things the right way.
Yeah.
As you should, you should always want to do stuff the right way. And like in my job, there's not a lot of, there's definitely bad stuff, like you can mess stuff up. I work with a lot of fragile stuff. Like I've got a picture I can show you later.
Yeah.
There wasn't, there were like 10 of these things that I worked on recently and valued at like all 10 of them, like $1.5
million.
Yeah. And like, yeah. So like, I'm always really worried about doing stuff the wrong way and like breaking something.
Yeah.
And I realized that I will give like anybody authority. And not necessarily like authority over me, but just like you think academically, you're like, well, what gives this person authority to speak about what they're talking about?
Yeah.
And like, if anybody has any confidence, I'm like, yeah, this guy's subject matter expert.
Yes.
And I just like, I don't know why I do that. And with like safety stuff, I'm not that way. Mm-hmm. If somebody's like, just whatever, just hot wire this real quick. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Like, that feels wrong. I don't want to play with 600 volts. But like, in just work and really in a lot of things, I'll just give people authority. Yeah. And it's kind of difficult. Like, I really like mathematics. This is kind of I'm swinging it wide here. Yeah. I really like mathematics because there's one way to solve a problem and one solution. And like getting stuff done at work is not that way. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways you can get stuff done. Yeah. And that's with like a lot of different things. There's not really a right or wrong way. It's just if it works. It works. It works. Yeah. And I'm always like, I almost put too much weight in doing something the absolute right way. Mm-hmm. And I'll second guess myself. And I don't know how I want to like relate it to what we talk about. Mm-hmm. But it just made me think about where we put our authority, why we put it there, and how we should be doing that. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
Write those points down, and we'll hit on them here in a minute. But I'm kind of the same way. When it comes to authority, it's like it's like your boss has authority over you, right? But what gives them that authority other than that's just the title they have?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still a person, you know. But like you said at school, it's like they talk with confidence and they know that's the subject matter. And it's like, going to this research methods class, Dad's going to laugh at me now for taking something they said and applying it. But it's like, they said, it's like, well, you're the subject matter in this project that you're going to be presenting. It's like, you're the expert in the subject matter. And just have confidence when you're talking. It's like, with this show, we don't know what we're talking about half the time, right?
Definitely.
And we get on here and we say it with confidence. Most of the time.
You might. I don't.
Well, I feel like you do a lot of the times.
Sometimes.
And so, I mean, you can just get up in front of people with confidence and people will listen to you. Like, that's how life is. And a lot of people have gotten far with the ability to talk in front of people and the ability to speak confidently in front of people, whether they're speaking the truth or whether they're not, or whether they're whether they're speaking the truth or not, they can get in front of people and they can talk.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a skill that I'm kind of building in my life. I'm trying to get the ability to talk in front of a bunch of people. It's like Thursday night, we had to prepare these points about whether college athletes should be considered employees of the university or not. They're not right now, but should they be, since everyone's getting paid now? So we had to prepare points, and my group did a very poorly job of preparing the points. But we got up there and we spoke with confidence and sounded like we knew what we were talking about. And so then it ended up the professor just talked anyways, like they always do. But they talked about it and gave their opinions on it, which was fine. But we got up there and talked with confidence. Like, we have these debates in class sometimes of like whether this should happen or this should happen when it comes to sports. It's like, first of all, no one knows. No one has an answer. You just get up there and you just disagree with the other side and you'll win the debate. Mm-hmm. And I found that out to be true. It's like, you just get up there, it's like, yeah, their opinion's wrong. This is why it's wrong. And you win the debate because you have more confidence than the other team does. And like, you don't have to have anything to back it up.
Perception goes a long way.
I mean, it's insane.
I've learned that.
It's nuts. It's like, yeah, the perception of it and just like who you're talking to. If you have confidence in what you're saying, it's like, I could be talking complete nonsense right now, like, but I'm somewhat confident in how I'm presenting it. Vocally anyways, like, I'm laid back in my chair right now. But, somewhat confident in it and just put it out there. And people will listen to it most of the time. It's like, you see like leaders, like world leaders, they'll get up there and spew nonsense most of the time, but they'll say it confidently, and people are like, yeah, and they'll go to war for that guy, you know?
You were in Zach's class with me, weren't you?
Yeah.
In the English 200 or something. We did a study on that, and it was the Stanford prison experiment kind of played into it, like how they played a role.
Yes.
Like, bad stuff happened.
Yes.
And like, we kind of hit on that last week with small changes over time, like with the government. Like, you know, over time, everybody kind of looks around and we're getting taxed at, 30%. I mean, not 30%, but we get taxed a lot, and it just kind of, like, it didn't happen once.
Yeah.
When you get into people, it's like, well, they're just doing their job. Mm-hmm. It's like, I remember a lot of what we related it to in class was the Nazi Party.
Yeah.
And like, you went from like leaders in the military, they were doing their job.
Yeah.
The victors write history. They were bad,
Yeah.
Like they were doing bad stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And we know that. We did a lot of bad stuff too around that time, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of similar. I mean, not
With
as
all the Japanese people.
not as severe, but kind of
Yeah.
similar. And it's just, I mean, like the way that you can like morally accept the stuff you do
Mm-hmm.
with the mindset of like it's my
That's
job.
my job. This is the role I've been given.
That's
this
not-
is the authority, but
That's not me. This is my job.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I forgot where I was going with that, but like,
It's interesting. It's like, especially with the Stanford prison experiment, that was nuts. Because that happened like that. It was supposed to be a 2-week long test. It lasted like 4 days till they had
Yeah.
to send everybody home because people were getting
went
hurt.
bad fast.
Like, for the people that don't know, the Stanford prison experiment, I'd recommend looking it up. There's a movie about it. Watch that movie. It's pretty neat. But Stanford University in California, over like spring break or something like that, they wanted to run this experiment of what would happen if we simulated a prison in our basement.
Yeah.
Would the would the prisoners how would the prisoners react, the quote unquote prisoners, which are just college students, and how would the officers, like the police officers, react, which are also just college students? So what they did, they picked them up in a police car that like Sunday afternoon or whatever, and the prisoners were picked up in a police car and they were taken to the university and were put in jail. And like, so the first night they were all just kind of like, it's like they were just kind of themselves, and until the I guess the warden or whatever, the guy running the experiment, is like, hey, police officers, you guys are the police officers, like kind of control this.
Yeah.
Like, this is your job. You need to be a police officer. And then it got to the point of like the police officers just like beating up the prisoners.
Yeah, like terrible
Bad,
stuff
like
happened.
hitting
Like,
them with the batons and like
there's like sexual abuse.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably, I can't quite remember, but like it was like bad. They shut it down in like 4 days.
Yeah, they
it was
even had
supposed
like
to be a 2-week long experiment.
like the police officers. I'm pretty sure set up like a solitary
Yeah,
thing and like
yeah. They were putting people in solitary confinement, and they were like not feeding them and all this because they were acting up.
Speaking of authority and perception, what kind of authority did the person who pitched this idea in an academic setting have? It was like, what if we have a bunch of students act like police officers, prison guards, and prisoners?
Because we want to see how the mind
Sure.
works.
Like, screw it. We got funding. Let's do it.
It's the 80s or 70s or 70s. Anything can happen.
I thought it was 80s.
Whenever it was.
Yeah,
I don't know.
back
It
in
don't
the
matter.
day.
But it also kind of goes to another point, or another thing we talked about in Zach Barnett's class of, you remember like the person that was getting shocked, like they had to push the button to shock them, and they needed to see like how much the person could take, how much electricity the person could take. It's like, well, when this alarm sounds, you have to hit this button, and like
The person would like scream and like
yes. It's like,
die.
Are you sure that's
They're
not
just
hurting
like-
them? It's like, no, you got to push the button because we're telling you to.
They were in
This-
a lab coat.
This authority person, this figure of authority, was telling this person to push the button that was harming someone else. There was no one on the other side,
Yeah.
of course, but they thought it was harming someone else, and yet this guy was telling them to do it. They would keep pushing that button and keep harming that other person, to the point of like the person would quit screaming, and the guy would ask questions like, are they okay? Are they dead? It's like, you just got to push the button. Like,
Yeah.
keep pushing
They
it.
would just do it. It's
Then they'd hit it again and hit it again. I can't remember like the name of that
I
experiment,
don't remember either.
but look that up too. It happened back in a long time ago sometime. But shout out Zach Barnett.
Yeah, that was a really interesting class.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave a lot of insight to
Mm-hmm.
the real world. Not like he had some wild stories of like.
My favorite story is like, it's like I like teaching and all, but like one job I really liked was the gravel. So I really liked that.
Talk about that.
I really liked that job because I could see the progress I made each day. At the beginning of the day, there was this big pile of gravel, and at the end of the day, there wasn't. I could see that progress.
Like as I drove off in my rearview mirror, there wasn't a pile of gravel there.
Yeah,
it's just, he's a really interesting guy, and some crazy stories. I wish I could share.
Not even,
but I've already said his name.
Not even from him, but from the people in that class as well.
Yeah.
Shout out. But
okay.
We're the only guys in that class.
Yep. It's a wild time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Back to authority. I mean, we were talking about it. It's just where we put authority, and it's so easy to trick people into like thinking you have authority.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in my job, I don't have the actual position, but like if I take Jimmy on a job, like I'm somewhat responsible for keeping him safe and keeping him productive.
Yeah.
Because I've got more experience than he does. I've got more time on the job and
you brought him on.
More relationships, and I've referenced him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like he's good. I don't have to really do much with him. But like I'll have an idea and I'm like, let's try this. Like it's already broke. We ain't gonna hurt it.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, is that the right way to do it? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I put on my pants the same way you did this morning. And that's, I don't know. It's just like, I'll look around and I'll be like, at work, why do I have this authority?
Mm-hmm.
And I go on some jobs where I'm managing stuff and it's kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
And I like, why do I have this?
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know. Maybe I give a perception that I know more than I do.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I feel like I put that perception on sometimes too, especially at school, because like sometimes in some classes, like people will look like the group. When we get grouped up, it's like, well, who's going to talk? Then they all kind of look at me in front of everybody. I'm like, oh, crap, now I got to go talk in front of everybody.
Now I got to do it.
Yeah. Or just, it's kind of like that all my life. It's like, oh, crap, I got to be the one to get out in front of people and talk about something that I don't know about. But, I guess I kind of put on that perception of I know more than I do, which I don't guess that's a bad thing to do.
No.
Because you get more opportunities that way. If you look busy, you're busy, you know.
That's a lot of my job.
So,
like, I once walked around with a paintbrush for like 3 days. I'm not even kidding. I've got so many good stories from that place. And the funny thing, like, I've got such little confidence in most of the stuff I do. And then I go places, and it's more often than not, when I go to a job, I will get a job offer.
Yeah.
Or somebody will, like, try to hire me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. Like, you've got 5 guys in here that are way more qualified than I am. And I don't know what it is.
But you showed up on time.
I showed up on time and I looked busy-ish.
Yeah.
It's just odd. I don't know. I think kind of to round that off, I think it's important to remember, like I said earlier, like I put my pants on the same way you do.
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that everybody's just a person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can do more than you think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's important to remember that. Just whenever you interact with people, that they're still just a person. Now, if you're like, if you've got a legit subject matter expert, like I'm not going to tell a programmer how to run his logic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm lost when it comes to that stuff. Yeah. Just be careful who you give your authority to, or you'll end up just doing your job.
Yeah. That is a good point that you brought up, because I was kind of thinking about, like, over time, it's like the bad things that have happened in this world. It's like, well, like the executioners that are killing people, they're just doing their job, you know, like, because someone tells them to do it. And if they don't do it, then they're going to get, if they don't do that, then they're going to get hurt. So it's like, like you said, you do got to be careful to who you give your authority to. I guess we could lead that into the Bible a little bit of authority.
Yes, I'm in mine.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull this up. All authority has been given to me. Yeah, Matthew 28. Matthew 28:18 says that Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. And surely I'm with you always to the very end of the age." So, like, Jesus has the authority of heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Like, he has the authority. So that's probably someone that you need to respect as an authority figure, you know.
If I'm giving it to anybody, it's Big J.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the authority talk is interesting, because you have, like, the authorities. I'm gonna call the law. I call the authorities, and, like, the police show up and they have the authority to enforce the law, but do they have authority over you? You know? So, if you're breaking the law, yes, they have the authority to enforce the law, but, like, they don't have the authority over your everyday actions. And the same thing with when it comes to, like, the political leaders. And am I out of line in saying that? Or
no, I've had so, like, we talk. I mean, like with the shock experiment.
Yeah.
Like, somebody walked in with a lab coat. They weren't a doctor. They weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't a scientist or anything. They were just somebody in a lab coat, and they told some guy to press a button that did something, and then they heard screaming from the next room, and, like, they gave that authority up so easy.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, how often do you see, like, police officer body cam footage of somebody getting pulled over? And they're like, "All right, I need your license and registration." And then they're like, "Nah, what's your badge number?" I guess that's the perception.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of perception that, like, all cops are bad.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true. I mean, there's definitely bad cops. You know,
But there are a lot of good cops.
We had a. I'm not going to go there. But, I mean, locally we've had our problems.
Yeah.
With law enforcement, and it's I think it's definitely a lot better now.
Yeah.
But in the past, we've definitely had our problems. But it's just interesting that, like, how those like perception and authority work together.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if I get pulled over, then I'm going to do my best to, like, be respectful, be compliant, you know, like, yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
Just
let's get this over with.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
You know, if I help you out,
you'll help me out.
You'll help me out. You do less paperwork. Win-win. I slow down for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So, but some people just, and like the whole sovereign citizen thing, people are like, well, you can't enforce the law on me. I'm not a citizen of the U.S. Well, like, I'm not driving a car, I'm traveling. It's like, have you seen that?
No.
That's a real thing that people try to do. They're like, I'm not driving a car, I'm traveling. Because there was, yeah, it
that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yes. Well, no. I've heard stupider.
That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
But like, that's something that people try on cops, and I don't know. That kind of contradicts a lot of what we've talked about today. Is that, you know, cops are, like, especially a state trooper, they've got a pretty strict uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like going with the authority of how someone looks,
yeah,
and how you perceive them. Because the people in that shock experiment, they saw somebody in a lab coat, and they were like, oh, well,
yeah,
got to press this button because he says so. And you would think somebody that is, you know, in uniform, you would think they carry that perception of authority,
mm-hmm.
especially whenever they're conducting a traffic stop or whatever.
Yeah.
But we've gone to that, like, there's multiple perspectives at play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just interesting, though, because I guess when it comes to the part of police officers, you have to, I mean, you got to trust that they're there to do what they're supposed to do, and that they're there to enforce the law and to protect you and to protect everyone else as well. So if you're driving 100 miles an hour in a 45, like,
yeah,
he's protecting you just as much as protecting everyone else, protecting you from crashing into a tree.
Yeah,
as much as everyone else, you know. So you got to be aware. It's like, I would say 99% of the time, like, cops are there for a good reason, and they're there to protect you, I would say, anyways. So you have to respect that. It's like, you see that authority figure is like, well, he's not just going to, most of the time, they're not just going to pull you over just to pull you over, like, to just hit a quota, I wouldn't think, anyways.
Yeah.
Unless they, I don't know, maybe I'm ignorant and don't know, but you got to be aware of that. But when it comes to, I think that's a good authority figure in our society. Is like, yeah, you should probably respect them because they're there to protect you.
and they've got a rough job.
Yeah, so you gotta understand that. But when it comes to respecting, but you also got to understand that, like, there's, when you're giving your authority to just, like, some random person because they talk confidently, like, you got to be kind of iffy there. Or, like, if your boss is asking you to do some, like, wild stuff, you got to be like, hold on now, what are we doing here? Or, cause that's something they told us as, like, graduate assistants. Like, if the guy that you're working for is, like, just asking you to just, like, do a bunch of, like, stupid stuff, let us know so we can shut that down. Like,
Yeah.
So that's something that you got to be aware of. Is, like, is your authority figure, are they asking you to do stuff that's not right, you know? So you got to always have that moral compass in the back of your head of what you're doing and how you're doing it. But I don't know. Authority's interesting. Very interesting.
It is.
Respect my authority.
We at that point, you got anything else you want to hit on?
I can't think of much else.
I can't think of much else. I'm drawing a blank.
How long have we been going?
Hour 20.
Yeah, we've been going for a little bit now. I think it's also neat coming back to Jesus a little bit. It's like, Jesus was questioned. His authority was questioned a lot.
Yeah.
Especially by the Pharisees, teachers of the law, chief priests,
Pharisees.
People of that nature. They questioned his authority a lot. And so I think that's neat that like when it comes to the whole, I don't know where I was going with this, but like his authority was questioned a lot,
which is kind of wild.
Yeah,
with how much evidence he gave.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
This leads me to a point I brought up Wednesday night when we were talking about. Shoot, I just got to pull this up now. We're gonna talk about it. Matthew 9. All right, so Matthew 9 basically is like 3 or 4 miracles that Jesus did, and it led into faith a little bit. So like Matthew 9:1, Jesus forgives and heals a paralyzed man. So Jesus comes to town, and these guys, these group of friends, bring a paralyzed man to Jesus, and he was laying on a mat, and they brought him to Jesus. And once Jesus saw their faith, the faith of the people, that brought the paralyzed man to him and said, "Take heart, son, your sins are forgiven." Then the teachers of the law came up. It's like, this guy's blaspheming. It's like, you can't forgive sins. Like, who do you think you are? And they're just saying that to themselves. All right, they're not saying that out loud, but they're thinking that. And Jesus like knows that they're thinking that, and he looks at them and says, "Why do you entertain evil thoughts in your heart? Which is easier to say, your sins are forgiven, or to say, get up and walk? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to this paralyzed man, "Get up, take your mat, and go home." So the guy got up and went home. When the crowd saw this, they were filled with awe, praised God who had given such authority to man. There's an authority story that God has given Jesus, that authority to forgive sins and to heal. But it's neat that those group of friends had the faith to bring their buddy that was paralyzed to Jesus. Scroll down a little bit more. Jesus raised a dead girl and heals a sick woman. So Jesus is traveling, right? He's traveling, and this synagogue leader, you got to think synagogue leader, working for the Pharisees, teachers of the law and stuff, working in the synagogue, comes up to Jesus, says, "Hey, my daughter has just died, but come on and put your hand on her and she will live." So that's a statement of faith, basically saying, it's like, I know that you can do this. So Jesus got up with him, and so did his disciples, and they were on the way back to the house. And as they were doing this, a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years has come up to him and touched the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be healed." And Jesus turned to her and said, "Take heart, daughter, your faith has healed you." So there's another instance of that woman having faith, which I think either Mark or Luke tells the same story just a little differently, which I think is neat. It's like Jesus is walking along this crowd, and this woman comes up and just touches the edge of his cloak, and Jesus like kind of pauses, like, what in the world? Because he felt power leave him. It says, like, he felt the power leave him and go into her. He's like, "Who just touched me?" He's like, "Who did that?" And he's like, I think it's in Mark. Let me pull that up, because I think that story's cool. I don't know when it is. Yeah, it's right here. I thought it was Mark 5. But at once Jesus realized that power had gone out of him. He turned around to the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see people crowding against you," his disciples answers, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole hold truth, he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace to be freed from your suffering." So then this goes on to Jairus was the synagogue leader's name. They said, "Hey, your daughter's dead." He said, "Why bother this teacher anymore? This teacher can't do anything. Like, she's dead." Overhearing what they said, Jesus told him, "Don't be afraid, just believe." He did not let anyone follow him except Peter, James, and John. When they came to the house, Jesus saw a commotion. People were crying and wailing loudly. And he went in and said, "Why all this commotion? The child is not dead, but asleep." And they all laughed at him. Like, what do you mean? It's like, she's dead. She's been dead for a long time. It's like, no, she's just sleeping. So basically they went upstairs and said, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And then the girl stood up and began to walk around, 12-year-old kid. And they were completely astonished. And he gave strict orders not to let anyone know about this and give her something to eat. So Jesus said, "Don't tell anybody about this. Like, keep this on the DL."
Why keep that on the DL?
Well, I'll tell you why here in a second. At least why I think. But let's go on to this last, I think. Yeah, there's another one here. But keep that point. Why keeping it on the down low? He heals a man and a mute man. So when he had gone indoors, the blind man came to him and asked, As Jesus went on from there, 2 blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." So that's another kind of declaration of faith. Please have mercy on us. We know you can do it. And he said, "Do you believe that I'm able to do this?" "Yes, Lord," they replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." Another thing he says, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the news about him all over the region. Anyways. But while they were doing that, there was a demon-possessed man that could not talk and was brought to Jesus. And when the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed. Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, "Well, it's the prince of demons. What he drives out demons." So they were just calling Jesus demon possessed. So those are like 4 examples of people showing faith in Christ, coming to Christ, and Christ healing them and forgiving them of their sins. So those are 4 examples right there of how, your faith in Christ leads to good things. But what I find is neat is that the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, they thought, it's like, this guy's blaspheming, this guy's full of crap. They thought that when he healed the paralyzed man. They thought when he drove the demon out and the guy was able to speak again, they thought that he was a demon himself.
Yeah.
Why do you think that? I'm going to give my opinion on it. Why do you think they're thinking those things?
Why do I think that they think Jesus is a demon? Or like why they're kind of like...
And why they think he's full of crap. Why do you think that?
Why do I think they think that? Or do I, would they be trying to, remove his authority? Because they don't think he's the Messiah?
Yeah, so you got to think, Jesus is this guy that's coming in and doing all these miracles out of the blue.
Yeah. Which
they've had people come in before and do these miracles and say that they're the Messiah. People did that. And so you got to think, in the defense of these synagogue leaders and the Pharisees and stuff, in the defense of that, they're probably just doing their job. It's like, well, this guy's full of crap. We've had all these other people saying that they're the Messiah. They're coming in and doing all this crap. But when they were doing it, they were probably like magic tricks and doing it for show. You see a lot of people do things for show nowadays. So you got to think of that, they might just think he's another one of these guys that's doing this stuff for show. But you also got to think that, you notice how when he healed the blind men, Jesus said, "Hey, don't tell anybody," but they went and told told everybody anyways, and news spread across the region. So you hear a story from the source, you retell that story to someone else, they retell that story to someone else, they retell that story to someone else.
Yeah.
That story is going to get miscombobulated some which way or another. So when these synagogue, this is all my opinion, how I think this how this all got mixed up and stuff. But these synagogue leaders, they are probably hearing the stories not from the source, but from all these other people, getting it twisted. It's like, well, what the heck? This guy's literally full of crap. And because at the time, he's not making any proclamations that, hey, I am the Son of God. He's not doing that yet.
Yeah.
Like public. He's just going around forgiving people, and like he might do it like every now and then, but he's not just like everywhere he goes, and that's not like a big widespread thing yet. And they're probably just getting misinformation, and they think that the Messiah is going to be this guy that's coming in and wiping out Rome and killing all the Romans and killing all the people above them. So when Jesus comes along, these Pharisees, they're the head guys in the temple, or the head guy, or like the head people in the synagogues, the head guys in the temple. They're the head guys in their religion, so they feel like their authority's getting tested by this new Jesus guy coming in. And that's probably why they get upset with him. And it's like, well, this guy needs to be shut down, because they feel like their authority's getting tested. They feel like he's telling a bunch of crap. He's not really true. He's coming from this small little crappy town of Nazareth, like he's not worth anything.
Yeah.
That's probably what these people are thinking, and which is not true. But they're the story that they've got has just been twisted.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, when it comes to, like, I know we brought up the Nazis earlier, of like how they were just doing their jobs, right? I'm sure I might get hate for saying this, but I'm sure like some of the soldiers and stuff, they're just being fed into the propaganda. Like they don't know what's right, you know?
Yeah.
And so they could, like, especially like all the little kids that were running around, like the youth at the time of that part, is like they were probably just running around just feeding into their authority, and they were just feeding into it, and they didn't know what was right, and yet they got caught in all the crossfire of all the bad stuff, right? So same thing with the Pharisees, is like they really don't know what's right. They think they know what's right. They're not looking at the full context of the whole picture. It's like, and like Jairus, he's a guy that came to Jesus because he had faith in Jesus. He looked at the context of what was going on. It's like, okay, this guy might actually be the real thing, the real deal. Like, and so there was some Pharisees and some leaders in the synagogue, like Jairus, for example, that did see Jesus like, oh crap, this is the Messiah. This is the guy we need to follow. And especially, the disciples, right? The core 12 that followed him around. It's like, I'm sure some of them had their doubts at first. It's like, there's no way. This is the Messiah we've been waiting for our whole life. And he chose me to come follow him. It's like, I'm sure that some of them had their doubts, but they looked at the context of the situation and the evidence and the stuff that Jesus has done. And then they based their opinion off that, and they went and followed him. And it turned out pretty good for them, spiritually wise anyways. Worldly wise, not really, because all of them got killed for the most part.
Yeah.
But, or got thrown out on an island somewhere, or, not good things happened to them. But spiritually wise, I mean, they're chilling. And so, I don't know where I was really going with that, but the fact that Jesus' authority was questioned by people of authority, but yet people still had the faith to go to Jesus anyways, even though he was not the popular choice at the time, because they knew that he could change their lives. I think it's neat. I don't know, that was kind of a big rant.
So then why...
I never finished that point. Yeah, but
why do you think they why do you think Jesus asked for those miracles to be kept on the DL.
Because if he'd have said that right then, they probably would have killed him a lot faster than they did.
What do you mean?
Like if if he's healing people from the dead, you got to think of the timeline. When did he he bring Lazarus back from the dead? Pretty late in his life.
Yeah.
Like soon after that, they heard of this, and then they killed Jesus soon after that. This is still, this is Matthew 9, Mark 5. Like, this is early on in his, I'm not saying that every gospel story is a linear story, but this is still pretty early on in his ministry. He probably doesn't want this, like, getting out to a lot of people because he knows that's dangerous for him. And also, that's not it wasn't a part of God's plan yet.
Yeah.
For him. He didn't need to die that fast. Because, multiple times, like, he would make a claim that he's God, then the Pharisees would try to kill him right there on the spot. Then he'd slip away. Yeah, he'd slip away. So, if word would have got out that he raised this little girl from the dead, like, this girl was dead, gone. Like, they were doing the mourning. They were doing the funeral celebrations at the house when Jesus showed up. Like, this girl was dead.
Yeah.
Ice cold dead. Comes in, brings her back to life. You got to think, word of that gets out. Jesus is in some danger with the Pharisees because they think Jesus is a bad guy, and then it's like, well, this guy's claiming that he can bring people back from the life, or back to life from being dead. That means their authority and their way of doing things are getting tested, and then it's just a whole big mess for them that they have to deal with. So it'd be easier for them to just kill Jesus than it would be for let him keep going on and spreading all this quote-unquote misinformation that the Pharisees think they're doing.
Yeah.
Which you can look at nowadays. There's a lot of similar situations with the misinformation spreading and all this stuff. It's just easier for for the higher-ups to just put them down than it is to let them keep going.
It's easier for someone to commit suicide than spread the truth.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting
Two
stuff.
Epstein jokes in a row, baby. Let's go.
No, it's pretty interesting stuff, though, if you think about it, especially looking back into, like, the fact that Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, didn't want anything to do with the whole Jesus thing, the whole Jesus trial. He's like, because you got to think, his wife was, like, having, did you know this? His wife was having awful nightmares every night. It's like, telling Pilate, like, stay away from this. Do not get near to this. Like, she's having she's having nightmares, like visions from God, saying, like, hey, stay away from this. Like, this is bad news. And Pilate's like, yeah, I really don't want to be involved with this. But you know who's pressuring him? The Pharisees. Pressuring's like, yeah, this guy's got to go. It's like, we can't kill him. The Pharisees can't kill him because for the Pharisees to kill him, it has to be, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it has to be in like the temple grounds, and he has to make a claim that they find worthy of blasphemy, and then that they can kill him there on grounds.
Yeah.
But if the Romans have the authority of, because they're in the Roman Empire, the Romans have whatever authority they want, so they can just kill whoever they want. And so it's neat that it's like we don't want to kill him, but the Romans need to. And so Pilate didn't want to have nothing to do with it, but the Pharisees kept pushing at him. It's like, do it.
Kill him. That's interesting. I always like the kind of the strategy of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems, and not just that, but the way the Bible is written is like there's a lot of inferring you have to do and a lot of contextual stuff you have to look at
Yeah.
to really get the full picture. And then there's different interpretations of what the Bible says, and I don't think that, like, well, for the most part, I don't think that, like, one interpretation is wrong. I think there's just a lot of different conclusions you can come to.
Yeah.
That, like, there's a lot of different values that can be taught through the stories of the Bible. And, like, I would imagine that, like, Jesus performing miracles would be more strategic than, like, I'll resurrect your daughter, just don't tell anyone, you know?
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I've never heard that story.
Yeah. But that's the only thing I can draw from that, why he wouldn't want people to tell. Why he wouldn't want that getting out, is because if the news of him bringing somebody, because that's the biggest, that's like, quote unquote, the most powerful thing you can do is bring someone back from being dead, you know. So if you do that, and that's found out that early on, like, he's going to have a lot of people on his back that he doesn't need on his back at that time. So at least that's my opinion. That's my opinion why they wouldn't want him.
I can't think of another explanation.
Yeah. He don't want all that heat right now. That's why he. I mean, it's crazy to think about it that way, but I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense for me.
It makes sense, but it also doesn't.
But you notice who'd he bring with him? He didn't bring his whole crew with him.
Yeah,
brought 3 people with him.
Yeah,
John, Peter, James. You know who was with him in the Garden of Gethsemane? John, Peter, James. He didn't bring his whole crew with him to the Garden of Gethsemane. Just brought them 3. I brought them 3 to see that miracle of bringing that girl from the dead. Told the disciples, don't even tell the rest of the disciples what you saw here. Like, those were I guess his best buddies.
His 3 boys.
His 3 boys. So, it's neat stuff. It really is. That to even think about.
I like to think of what the modern coming of Jesus will be like. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it would be terrifying at first until you realize what's happening. Then you're like, oh.
It's time, baby. Yeah. I don't know. I do like to think about that.
You know that one picture of Squid Games that you see on TikTok all the time? And they're all like kind of scared at first, but then they're all pumped at the end.
Yeah.
Be like that.
That's interesting. Is he going to roll up with an iPhone, you know?
Who, Jesus?
Yeah.
No, he's going to roll up with a sword out of his mouth. Flaming sword out of his mouth.
That's fair.
Everyone pulling out their phones. Oh, my gosh.
I love whenever something happens and people, like, draw from Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, this is, like, it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, God.
Bro, you don't know when it's happening.
You don't know,
big
man.
dog. You don't know. Jesus Christ himself don't know.
We have no real knowledge of the timeline.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I don't want to, just talking about timeline, I don't want to, like, try and quote directly, but I'll paraphrase. There was some calculations done on, like, what we think is the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Like where the Big Bang happened.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point, it's like millions of years to get to where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But from that point of the universe, it would be like a day.
Yeah.
And it lines up pretty well with, like, at least our perceived formation of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting. that we've got some mathematics that at least like kind of ballpark get there.
Yeah.
Because that's like whenever I started to kind of like stray from being a Christian, that was like the biggest thing for me. Is I was like, there's like we know too much about how the earth was made. Mm-hmm. And then it was like later in life I'd kind of realized that like science and God would coexist, you know, like it's not one or the other.
Yeah.
You can't like if you believe in God, then that doesn't mean that you can't believe in science.
Yeah.
And like that's what a lot of the arguments I see are is like if you believe in God, then you can't believe in evolution. Like, I don't really know, but like,
well, I mean, you see evolution kind of all the time. Like, look at a tadpole.
Yeah,
you know, like they start as something that's swimming, then they evolve into something that's jumping.
It's not evolution,
but like that's a small form of it if you think about it.
Yeah,
if it's a small,
I can't think of the word.
You know. But they're evolving from a little thing that swims to something with legs to something that...
I mean, we saw it as recently as the Industrial Revolution. There was a species of moth that was white. Mm-hmm. And after the Industrial Revolution, they became like speckled and dark.
Yeah.
To blend in with all the soot that was covering the land.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do believe in evolution. I mean, I don't know, like, yeah. I believe that science and God coexist.
Yeah.
It's kind of random.
I mean, something's got to,
there's got to be a method, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for God, it was, like, everything was done in 7 days.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, there still has to be a method, I think. I don't know.
It's interesting stuff to think about. Like for me, I don't think. I guess for me, I don't think about a lot of things that kind of like that, because like the way the earth was made, or like the way, like you said, like the moth was changing. It's like, I don't feel like that's that relevant in my life, so I personally don't like think about it that much.
Yeah.
But it is neat to think about. It's like, well, you hear that God created the earth in 7 days. Well, you got to think about it, that 7 days, a day back then might not be the same as a day now. Because you got to think what has happened to the earth over time from that point to what it is now. Because, you know, the earth was flooded at one point. That's going to change something up. Like that's got to mess something up, you know.
Yeah.
Once that was before sin entered the world. The world was perfect the way it was. Then sin entered the world. So that 7 day timeline might be different than a week now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's stuff to think about and speculate about, but we don't know the answer. We don't know for sure, for positive, how old the Earth is. Like, how do some people?
There's got to be a lot of variance.
Why do some people think it's 7 billion years old, and why do other people not think that? And why do different from like, I don't know, 50 years, they'll have a different opinion about how old the Earth is. Because nobody knows. Because nobody was alive then. It goes back to my evidence point. You got to look at the evidence, right? So they're going to see the evidence of the Paleolithic era, whatever. One of the eras back, the dinosaur eras, Jurassic era or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? I took a geology class in college.
You
I
got
know what
it.
I'm talking about.
You got it. You're close.
Whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I didn't there for a second.
But like,
I thought you said Paralympic at first.
I don't.
I was like,
I might have. I don't know. But like, you look at that stuff. They'll look at the context and like, oh, this is cool. This is how old the Earth is. That's not gonna. How is that relevant to how you're gonna go watch your kid's soccer game tonight? You know, it's like, I mean, realistically,
I guess that's fair.
I mean, I don't know. That might be a bad take, but
No,
I have a few of them, but
I don't know, man.
it's just, I don't know. I think I'm just getting to the point where I'm rambling now, but
Me too, for sure. Dusting off the old audio interface.
yeah, the Scarlet 2i2. Anywho, it might be about time to wrap this up.
I think so. I think it might have been time like 20 minutes ago.
No, I like this last topic we hit on. I think that's the best part of the show. But the whole,
You got to be invested to get anything from us.
yeah.
Yeah, like you got to be a patient.
I'm thinking about just putting that at the beginning. You think I should just flip-flop it?
Just flip it.
Might as well. Who cares?
It's our show, man.
It's our show. We can do what we want. Anyways, if we got anything else, you're up to pray this week.
Yep. We ready?
Yeah.
Father God, thank you for this day, and thank you for another opportunity to share your word and to hopefully reach someone and share your love with them. And God, thank you. Thank you for everything you've given us. I pray that as we prepare for this marathon, you will keep us safe. God, I pray that your will be done in our lives, and we continue to reach people with our show and share your love. I pray that you will forgive us for our shortcomings. In Jesus Christ we pray. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Boy, I stutter. It's something about closing my eyes and praying that just throws me off.
Can't chew gum and walk.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh, goodness gracious. Episode 40.
Yeah. Let's close it out.
We did it.
All right, guys. That was 40. That was 40. Gosh dang it. We love you.
Jesus loves you.
Be good to your brother.